Greetings colleagues and welcome to Qeqeshwane Digital Classroom. My name is Bheki. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the word processing program or app called Microsoft Office Word. On the keyboard you will have to punch the Windows button. There's the Windows button. Then once you punch the Windows button, it will bring you here. You type Word. There is Word. You click on it. It's starting. It brings you here. Ignore the templates. These are preset documents which make your work easier because half of the document is done. You just change the details here and there and then finalize your document. Now we start a blank document from scratch. Okay, once you start a blank document from scratch, you will see there is what we call, this is a cursor or insertion point. It shows you where you are about to type. For example, I will type my name now, Bheki. Okay, so this will keep blinking like that. Don't confuse it with this that is moving. This here. What is moving here is your pointer. And you use it to point at different, these are called ribbons. Each of these ribbons has got pictures that we call icons. Okay. Look at this one, for example. We'll be dealing with all of these icons in our study. For now we are going to be working on these icons. Okay, so now let's get back to our text. Assume that this is your page. This here is called the hanging indent, and it marks the beginning of the left margin. Okay, and then this over here marks the top margin, and so on. You have your right margin with also the right indent. It's the right margin, shows you where your text is going to stop. You are able to change this from time to time, depending on what you need to do. If I could just go to the bottom of the page, going down, you will see that there is the bottom margin. Can you see the line that I've just created by clicking on the bottom margin? It means when your text gets there, it will automatically go to the next page. On the touchpad, on the touchpad of your laptop, if you pinch, your page gets smaller. If you pinch out, your page gets bigger. These are the basics we need to know, because sometimes you want to look at your page from a distance. Sometimes you need horizontal space. Okay, if you can look at this page, it's vertical. What if we want to change it to be horizontal? We need horizontal space, more horizontal space. Then we go to this ribbon called layout, the layout ribbon, and click. Once you have clicked on the layout ribbon, you will see orientation. There's orientation. If you click on orientation, can you see our page is currently on portrait? We want to take it to landscape if we need more horizontal space. Let's go back to the text that you have typed. If you punch the space bar, that is the longest button on the keyboard. This is the space bar. If you punch the space bar here, the first letter of my name becomes capital letters. But if I type my surname, in some computers it will make it capital letter, in some computers it will not. Now if it doesn't, all you do is simply use your navigation keys. These are the navigation keys. top arrow or up arrow, right arrow, down arrow, and the left arrow. Therefore, I have to now move to the M. Let me zoom in. I have to move right to the M that I've typed, and then on the keyboard, now I have to look for this button here. I punch backspace, the M is gone, and then on the keyboard I hold down Shift as I'm flashing it there, Shift, and punch the letter that you want. Let's do that together. Hold down Shift on your keyboard and then punch the letter that you want. That will be the letter of your surname, M. Okay, now on the keyboard again, let us punch END. You tap on END and it will take you to the end of the text. It will take you to the end of the text. And if you punch home, just next to end, you'll see home. It takes you to the beginning of the text. It takes what to the beginning of the text? The cursor or the insertion point. Can you see this blinking thing here? That is called the insertion point or the cursor. With that said, let us continue. Now let us punch E and D again. E and D. It takes you to the end of the text. Now punch Enter. Enter is this one. Can you see this button that I'm flashing here? Enter. Enter. You are taken to the next line. The insertion point is moved to the next line. If you punch the backspace we spoke about earlier on, backspace, you are taken back to the previous line. Punch Enter again, and on your keyboard now, let us type. We start typing something. The quick brown fox jumped swiftly over the neat plank. I'm waiting for you to finish typing. Right? I hope you are there now. At first, if you are starting out, it'll take some time to locate these letters. Let me show you a program that can assist with this. There is an app called Typing Master. This one is Typing Master 10. It's freely available on the internet. If, for example, you click on this app, once it is installed, it has a number of features that are so cool. You can just type your name and then punch Enter, and then it has got games. These games will familiarize you with the keyboard. For example, I could play Start Bubbles, punch any key to start. Now I will use, okay, this one is a mixture of symbols and letters. Now on the keyboard, I just go to, for example, Shift and that semicolon, or it's not semicolon, F is eliminated, J, S, D, A. Can you see that as I'm typing these letters, they are eliminated, okay? So it's a game, but at the same time, it's familiarizing you with the keyboard. K, semicolon again, J, A, F, D, S, and so on. Okay, you can eliminate them, play with them, 1, Shift 1, L, J, and so on. If 6 of them reach the top margin, like you hear now. Second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, game over. Alright, so that's how the game plays. You can play that game, it will familiarize you with the keyboard. Back to our Microsoft Word. We are here. Okay, I'm going to teach you the basic functions now of other icons that we have. Remember I said if you go to home, let's go to home. There's the home ribbon, and click on the home ribbon. It will show various icons as you can see here. Now I'm going to click on quick. Let's all click on quick. Let's click on quick. There's quick. Click on quick. We have typed this sentence, and then you go to the bold icon. Can you see it's writing there bold, which means it will make our text bold. Can you see? In brackets you have a shortcut for that, which is Control B. Now let's try that. Let's try clicking the icon first. If I click on the B, can you see that the thickness of the text has changed now? It has changed. It's different from the rest of the text. It has changed because I have bolded the word quick. If I hold down Ctrl and punch B, I have debolded or removed the boldness from the word. In other words, I am now applying what was written in brackets, that if you do not want to click here on B, you can simply hold down Ctrl and punch B. Okay, so the same applies to italics and underline. Let us try to underline brown. So you can do so by either you click on the word and then you click on U, underline, or there is another way. You could simply hold down Ctrl on the keyboard. There is Ctrl. It works the same as this one here. So if you hold that one down while you are here in this word here, if I can just go there quickly, Ctrl U removes underlining, punch it again, it brings back underlining. The same goes for I. Ctrl I, that's Control I, it gives us italics. If I can show you. Okay, what have I done now? Alright, that's italics. Control R. Let us develop a question paper. What you have typed here is not needed anymore, so let us hold down Ctrl and punch A. Control A will select everything, and then we punch backspace. Everything is erased. If you want to practice on your own, colleagues, you can do so by generating text. To generate text, this is what we do. You punch the equal sign. If I can just zoom in so that people can see what I'm doing. Equal sign on the keyboard, look for the equal sign. It's next to backspace where there's a plus sign. Equal sign, then you type R-A-N-D, rand, open bracket. How do you open the bracket? Hold down Shift on the keyboard, and then once you have held down Shift, go to where there is a 9. Let me just show you. You hold down Shift and then you go and punch the 9. When I say close the bracket, you will go back to Shift and punch the 0. This will close the bracket. For argument's sake, let's say I want 5 paragraphs. I will just type 5 in there and then close the bracket, Shift 0, as I've shown you, and then punch Enter on the keyboard. There you are. You've got 5 paragraphs. Control A again, Control A, CTRL, and then you punch A. Don't release it. You hold down CTRL on the keyboard and then punch A. It will select the whole text, and then punch backspace. Everything is removed. Now we are getting serious. We are typing a real question paper. Okay, I'm gonna type the name of the school first. Now for this video I will use the school where I'm working. Now to type capital letters only, you punch this button here, caps lock, caps or caps lock. You just punch that button, you will see a light somewhere glowing, the light glowing to show you that you are now typing on capital letters. You are typing capital letters only. So I'm going to type now Zacchaeus Malaza Mathematics. You type this name of your school, Mathematics, Science and Technology Academy. You can pause this video because if I have to wait for you, the video will be very long. So pause the video, finish typing, and then continue with the video. Punch enter. This takes you to the next line. You could punch enter again, and then you could then type, for example, let us say the name of the subject. In my case, I'm going to type, okay, let's say I'm using now small letters, Shift C. In other words, I only want capital C. I hold down Shift and then punch C. Computer, and then space, Shift A. It gives me a capital A now. Applications, space, Shift T, then technology. All right. Enter. Date, for example. Tab on the keyboard. Y tab. There's tab. I will tell you why we have to use tab, colleagues. You see, if you use spacing, use space bar, it's going to take you a long time, because look at this. If I just punch tab and tab again, can you see how much space I'm covering in a short while? Whereas if you are going to use space, look at this, space, 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 takes a long time, and the alignment is not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same when you go to the next line. So when you punch tab, it takes you to a specific tab stop that will have been set. We'll do this in advanced Microsoft Office Word. Then hold down Shift and punch the colon. I'm no longer going to show you on the on-screen keyboard. You have to locate these things yourselves now. Now we go on and punch tab again. Then I say 2020, depending on the format in which you want to write your date. 2020-07-10. Okay, enter. Marks. Okay, and then tab again. Can you see it stops right where the previous tab stop was positioned? Then I hold down Shift, punch the colon again, tab on the keyboard, and then I say 50. Enter. What else are we going to write here? Duration, tab, Shift, colon, again, tab. Okay, 1 hour, that's 60 minutes. Punch enter again. It looks ugly. Can you see that? For a question paper, it looks very pathetic. So let's put in some touch to it to improve or give it a facelift. Okay, so I want you to move your cursor, the pointer, to the beginning of the name of the school, and then once you have done that, move away. Can you see that as you move away, it turns into an arrow, and then you click? What happens? The entire sentence is selected. On your keyboard, colleagues, I want you to go and hold down Ctrl. You hold down Ctrl, and then you come and punch this closed square bracket here. You will see what happens. I'm gonna do that now on my PC. Right? Ctrl, open square bracket. What is happening? The text is getting bigger and bigger. I stop here. Can you see now? We are trying to give it a facelift, but this is not enough. You might want to now change the appearance, the handwriting, if I can put it that way, of this text. Okay, we call it the font. Now go to the home ribbon. Here's the home ribbon, and click on the home ribbon, and then go down here where it says Calibri. Can you see that? And then you click, and voila, you've got a plethora of font types to choose from. For argument's sake, let's just choose Algerian. Let's click on that, and can you see now that it's overlapping to the next line, which is not right? Okay, we want our question paper to be neat. So let's hold down Ctrl again, and you go back to where, do you remember where you punched the closed square bracket? Now you go to the one adjacent to it, which is the open square bracket or open curly bracket, and punch once, punch twice, depending on your margins on the PC, until this is corrected. You now leave it like that. And at the same time, hold down Ctrl and punch E on the keyboard. What happens? Your heading will be centered. Okay, while still on the home ribbon, I want you to come down here, colleagues, and deselect. Deselect means you remove this selection. This is not highlighting. I hear people talk about highlighting. Highlighting is something else. If I could just show you highlighting, let me deselect. To deselect, you click anywhere white. I click, the selection is removed. Why do we have to use selection? Selection tells the computer where you are, where you want to work. Okay, so highlighting is something else. It's different from selection. This is highlighting. If I can bring you here, those who can't see properly, this is where I am. If you click on that small triangle, it will give you the different highlighting colors. If I take lime, for example, bright green, or they call it bright green here, I click on that and I go down, and can you see that it turns into a highlighter? Click and hold using the touchpad button. Click and hold, and then with your middle finger swipe to the right. Swipe to the right. What happens? It's highlighted. So this is different from selection. Selection is showing the computer where you want to work, and then highlighting is as you would use a highlighter when you are studying, to highlight key points and so on. You want something to stand out. Let us reverse this, because we don't want our question paper to print out with this highlight. So we're going to reverse this. How do you do that? On the keyboard, we are going to use the Ctrl a lot. It stands for control. Control, Ctrl, and then immediately, without releasing a Ctrl, punch Z. Ctrl, Z. What happens? It will reverse what you have done. And what remains is the selection. So you deselect again, click on a blank space. Next up, we have to also change this here to capital letters. So can I show you how to select using a keyboard? Okay, I want you to click at the beginning of the date here. Click at the beginning of the date, and then on the keyboard hold down shift, punch the right arrow key progressively. Punch the right arrow key progressively. What happens? You are selecting. Okay, punch the left arrow key now just to go to the colon. You have reached the colon, and then release shift. In fact, we didn't have to even release shift, because we are going to hold down shift again. Hold down shift and punch F3. Shift F3 will immediately take everything to capital letters. Shift here. Your F3 on the keyboard, I don't have it on the on-screen keyboard, okay? You are not going to punch this and 3, no. It will be there, somewhere up there on your keyboard. The on-screen keyboard doesn't have it, but your keyboard will certainly have it. The keyboard on your laptop will certainly have it. Laptop or desktop. Then you punch that F3, it will be somewhere. Click on at the beginning of computer applications technology. Hold down shift, punch the right arrow key, right arrow key, right arrow key. And if you want it to move faster, if I can show you that. If you want it to move faster, hold down shift and Ctrl and then punch the right arrow key. Now it selects weight by weight, weight by weight. And then hold down shift again, punch F3. Everything is immediately taken to capital letters. So we can do all sorts of things here. We can bold this. Let's play around. I'm giving you a chance now to do the same with this one. Shift F3. Now I'm selecting using a keyboard, a mouse. Can you see? I click and hold, swipe to the left. You could start it from this side, click and hold, swipe to the right, and then Shift F3. I could say Control B, what we did earlier. Select this, Control B, select this, Control B, and then click here at the end of all the text, punch enter, and we go Shift Q. Then we type question, question 1. Okay, shift left arrow key. What is it doing? Now it's making everything selected. It's selecting everything. Control B, Control U. It's bolded, it's underlined. And punch the end button, enter. Right? If you start typing, now you have created a problem. Remember, bold and underline have not been removed. So just backspace, 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 backspace until the end, and then Control B, Control U. You are removing the bolding, you are removing the underlining. If you type now, number 1, full stop, tab, Control Z. Why? I didn't want indentation. Indentation is when that one moves towards the it moves to the middle a little bit. So I don't want that. I want this one to be aligned to the Q here, straight with the margin. So I didn't want it to move. That is why I went Control Z or Control Z, just to remove it. So I go tab. Can you see when I go tab, it moves with me, which is wrong. Control Z. The tab stop remains there, but the one has moved to the margin, which is correct. And then I will now type, what is the difference? What is the difference between RAM Now I just held shift and typed RAM, release shift, space, and ROM. Hold down shift again, ROM, and release shift again, shift question mark. There's my first question. So now you can develop an entire question paper just doing this. There are things we have not done, obviously, but this should suffice for typing your question paper right to the end. And when you do reach the end, you might want to underline. Some of you might want to underline after each question, for example. If I can just show you that you go to the home ribbon here, and then we are going to use this icon. Let me zoom in here. Some people may be doing this on their phones, so for your convenience, you click here. Now you are going to use the top border. I want you to use the top border because you're still going down, you're still going. So you click top border. What happens? Aha, you've got this underlining now, which is just part of a table. We'll see this when you do tables and borders. So you just punch enter now and go on to question 2. Question 2. Enter. Okay, then up arrow, shift, down arrow, everything is selected. This is another way of selecting. Let's do that again. If you are here next to the Q and you hold down shift, you punch down arrow, what happens? The text is selected. Then you just go Control B, Control U. What happens? Your question 2 is underlined and bolded. Now you punch down arrow again. It takes you to where you could type your first text. Some of you might be printing in color and they want to impress, the learners, and you want to print in color. Select whatever you want to change. For example, I'm going to click and hold here, swipe to the left, and go to the home ribbon here, and look for color. Can you see this icon here? It says font color, and then I click on that little triangle there and choose red. Now I've got red. I could go again and choose a different font type. Now I've got a different font type. Now we didn't use the other method of changing font size. We used only one method. Here's a second method. You could just go up here and click. It's up here. You click and you choose the color that the font size that you want. I've chosen 20, and let's see what happens. See now, I've got red letters at size 20. There are a whole lot of things we can do. We could insert a page border just to give a beautiful touch to our question paper. So we'll go to layout. No, it's not layout. Design, and then you move to the extreme right. Move to the extreme right where it says page border. You click, and once you click that, you are brought here. You make sure page border is active. Page border here, and now you could start choosing from here. You could choose these professional lines. If you are not happy with these professional lines, you could go to the more artistic lines. As you can see, it's written art there. You go to the more artistic lines and borders, artistic borders, and choose whichever you wish to choose, and then apply to whole document. You've got other options. This section, This section, first page only, it means only the first page will be bordered and not the rest of the document. This section, all except first page. The whole document will be bordered but not the first page. Okay, so there are a whole lot of things you could do here. And then click OK. There you are. You've got a border inserted. You could also insert a cover page. Insert here. Click on insert. On the insert ribbon, can you see that? And then move to cover page. Click on cover page, and you choose a cover page that you want. If I can zoom out a little bit there. Choose a cover page that you want. Say you choose this one, and then you would type the name of your subject. In my case, it's going to be cat. And document subtitle, I could say June exam 2020. Now you have a cover page. You could put other things here, the date, for example, 10 July 2020. Company name could be the name of your school. In this case, I'm going to write the name of my school. And then company address, can ignore that. And you have a cover page. If I can just zoom out, can you see that you have a cover page? There's something we forgot to do. We forgot to go back to the portrait. Can you see that the page is horizontal? Therefore, it means we need horizontal space, which is not the case. So let's go to layout, click layout, orientation, and go to portrait. Takes you to portrait. Go back to our question paper. There you are. That's it for now, colleagues. The challenge: develop your own question paper.